So my friends and I, we picked out a house, we toured it, everything was all set. We were going to sign the lease soon. And then they found roaches.
Okay.
And obviously, that's like my number one fear. I'm not kidding. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with like a snake or a scorpion.
They say college is the best 4 years of your life, and where you live and who you live with is a big part of what makes it so great. I'm Laura. I talk with students across the country about their college living experiences, the good, the bad, and the memorable, so you can learn from them and truly make these your best 4. Rambler is a student apartment just steps away from ASU campus in Tempe. With options ranging from studios to 4 bedrooms, there's a layout for every lifestyle. Designed with ASU students in mind, Rambler features curated interiors and next-level amenities. Think 2 pool decks, cold plunges, state-of-the-art fitness center with Pilates reformers, a dedicated study lounge, and even an on-site coffee shop. Rambler also gives larger groups the option to lease nearby units on the same floor, creating your own neighborhood. So you can live next to all of your best friends, but still enjoy the perks of having your own apartment. Use code BEST4 at ramblertempe.com to waive your application fee when you apply. That's a $50 value. Again, that's code BEST4, BESTFOUR. Today, I'm here with Ashton. Hi, Ashton.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to dive in about your experience here at ASU.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's get going.
Awesome. So first, tell me where you're from and why you decided to go to ASU.
Yeah, so I'm originally from right north of Dallas. I'm from a little town called Allen. Don't know if anyone knows where that is, but yeah, and then I decided to come to ASU my junior year of college. I've been applying to schools, and I was just looking for the school that was best for my major, and I found ASU was number 2 when I applied for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what's best for me, and it just turned out to be ASU. I came and toured November of my junior year and got my early acceptance soon after and accepted it, and that was that.
Yeah, and you said that you applied to quite a few schools, but you were like, if I get into ASU, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And what is your major? What are you studying?
Criminology and Criminal Justice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have you always been interested in that, or why did you decide to go into that?
Yeah, I mean, since I can remember, I think 6th grade is when my little brain was like, you know what, I think law enforcement's really cool. I want to help people. And it took me a little while to kind of narrow down what I want to do with it, but I've known pretty much my whole life, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you originally wanted to come in for criminal justice, but your freshman year, you switched to psychology, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that decision?
Yeah, so it had nothing to do with what I knew I was going to do in my future. It was more my major, so criminology and criminal justice, is a downtown major, so that's based in Phoenix, and I wanted to live on the main campus in Tempe. So I did a little switcheroo, switched my major to psychology so I could live in the dorms in Tempe. So I could do like recruitment and not have to worry about it, kind of more have like college life from the start. As soon as I could switch back, I switched it back to criminal justice.
Okay.
But I just kind of wanted to play the system, I guess, a little bit and live where I wanted.
Yeah. So explain to me the different campuses at ASU.
Yeah. So we have 4. So we have Tempe, which is the main campus, downtown Phoenix, which is where I am. Then we have Polytechnic and West. So it's those 4.
Okay. And Polytechnic is pretty far. It's like 40.
Yeah, I think it's like 40, 45 from here.
And so I guess that's a good hack to know because you have to live in a dorm based on your major, right?
Yes.
And so you would have had to have been in the downtown campus if you would have stayed.
Yeah.
Do they have dorms there or what is that?
Yeah, they
situation?
do. So the dorms downtown, it's called Taylor Place. So there's Taylor Place 1 and Taylor Place 2.
And that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other housing as well, but it's more for like upper division, kind of. I don't
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
so
juniors and seniors or like grad?
pretty much after freshman year you can live there.
Okay.
But they do cater more to upperclassmen.
Okay.
Yeah. But Taylor Place it's really nice. I wanted to live on the main campus.
Of course. Yeah. And you ended up at Manzanita.
I did.
Right? Okay. And tell me about that experience of finding housing. There's a portal, right?
Yeah, so if you go on ASU's website, there's the housing portal, and you kind of can go by major. So you can be like, okay, well, I'm going to be this major, and that major is in this school. So it's like if you're in the liberal arts and sciences, then you have, I think it's 4 dorms that you get to pick from
Okay.
that fit with your major because they want you to live with people similar to you.
I think that's really interesting. I don't know if I've come across another university yet that divides people by majors. So how many dorms did you have to choose from?
The main ones that I was looking at was 3 options because I wanted to live on the side where I did end up living, which is by like the Trader Joe's, and it's right off of University. So I had those 3 to pick from. There's another one across campus, but that one was run down and it had like community bathrooms, and
Yeah.
I didn't want any business with that, so I kept with
Which
my
one
3.
is that one?
I think it's called Best.
Okay, I've
Yeah.
heard of Best.
Yeah.
So you had Manzanita and then the Palos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's Palo East.
Yeah, Palo Verde East and Palo Verde West.
Okay. And then you had Best.
Yes.
Yeah. So what were your like top 2?
Manzanita was my top 1 choice just because it looks nice, it's newer, it's like renovated. I didn't really look at the other ones because I kind of knew I was going to get it because I applied so early for it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was happy with Manzanita. It is nice. It's definitely nicer.
I wanted to go back to something that you just mentioned, which was that you were early. And so talk to me about that.
I got in early. I was probably in the first like 5,000 people or something to accept their acceptance from this college. And so me and my mom were like waiting. We had like a time set up because you find out when it drops for you to be able to apply for housing.
Right.
So as soon as that hit, like we like rushed to the computer. We're like, okay, we're going to get the one you want. Like, you don't have to worry about it just because it looks nicer. It was nicer. So,
yeah. So you were already prepared and you knew which one you wanted before the housing portal like opened for you to pick.
Yes.
Would you recommend that people do that?
If you're not picky and you don't really care, like, don't stress yourself out. But I'm a type A person. I'm pretty neurotic when it comes to stuff like that. I like knowing what I'm doing. So if you're more picky or it's like you really want to live this one place, I would do it as soon as possible.
Cool. So tell me about your experience at Manzanita, just like as a whole. Like what was the environment like? Like what was the vibe?
Yeah, so I went in with random roommates. I met them like online and we talked a bit there. So it's like I felt like I was like knowing what I was getting into, and like they seemed super sweet, and it's like it's gonna be super fun semester. Like you get to Manzanita, and what's really great is when you're moving into any of the dorms here, they have a team that literally like you park and all your stuff is labeled with your name and your dorm.
That's nice.
And they bring it up for you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the move-in was super easy. I got there before the rest of my roommates. Like that's just the time I had scheduled. And then we were like setting up and all the roommates came in and it was really good for a little bit. Turned bad pretty fast too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do recommend though living with randoms.
Okay.
Unless it's like you've lived with this person before, because I came here with a friend and I was worried that it'd be one of those things where you live with one of your best friends and it goes wrong and you're no longer friends anymore.
Yeah, that's right. You had a friend from Allen, right? That came with you.
Yeah.
You guys chose to not live together.
Yeah, we both chose to go random.
Are you guys still friends?
Yeah, we're best friends. We talk like at least once a week.
That's great.
She's at Arkansas now. But
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you recommend maybe not living with your best friend then?
Yeah, because I knew a bunch of people from high school that they lived with their best friend. They're no longer friends at all. So I think unless you've lived with them, you've gone on trips with them, and you know you can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe don't.
So was Manzanita like a social dorm? Like, would you say that like people were super friendly, and were you able to make friends in the dorm?
For Manzanita, so like people that live there, it's a lot of people in the liberal arts and sciences and then a lot of athletes. So I'd say the athletes are very tight-knit, which I fully understand. I'm like, you have the same schedule and they're dorm with people that are on your team. Like, I think that's awesome. But when it comes to like everyone else that's not an athlete, they're just a regular. I do think like it was kind of floor-based. So there's 15 floors in Manzanita. I lived on the top floor and it wasn't very chummy. But like the 3rd floor and the 10th floor, all of them knew each other and hung out.
Interesting. So it's just floor by floor, like just roll of the dice.
At least when I lived there, it was.
Yeah.
It could be different now. You never know. It's just that was the culture when I was there for sure.
Yeah. And you had a friend that lived in one of the Palo Verdes, right?
Yeah.
What was her experience like? Do you know?
I mean, that's the dorm that has always had mold problems, and people, when they get sick, they stay sick there because the mold does not help. One thing that her and I both really liked was that there was a stove In Manzanita, you did not have a stove.
Okay, like in your suite, because break it down for me. In Manzanita, you had suite mates and a roommate, right?
So we shared a bathroom and like a sink. But then there was also sinks in each room.
Did you have like a little like living area at all? Or was it just bathroom sink?
It was just bathroom sink and then the rooms.
Okay. And so in Palo Verde, is it east or west that your friend?
She lived in west.
West.
Yeah.
They had a little kitchen?
Yeah. So like in there, like on every floor, there's like a common room. So in there, it was like a living room and then they had a stove.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we loved that because like we could cook real food. Because we could not do that at mine. So that was a really nice option.
Yeah.
And then her roommates were all very nice. They're still like kind of in contact. Like they're not best friends or anything, but they talk to each other once in a while.
Was the vibe more social?
I do think it was kind of more friendly there. Because it's like it was smaller too. So I think there was only like 7 floors, 6 or 7 floors. And you'd run into the same people again and again because there was only 2 elevators.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was definitely like you run into people like, oh, hey, and you knew people from your floor, and it was kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to go back to your roommate's freshman year because I know that you had a bit of a difficult experience.
Yeah.
So we don't have to necessarily go into the details, but I wanted to talk about if somebody were in that situation, like what advice do you have for them, or how did your situation end up?
If you're in a situation like I was, I would definitely get evidence if you can. So take pictures and video if they ruin your stuff or hide alcohol on your side of the room and then call the CAs when you leave. If they lock you out, make sure you're filing reports with the front desk, being like, hey, my key's not working, y'all's key isn't working. And my roommates won't let me in.
Yeah, because you weren't able to get your laptop for like a week, right?
Yeah. I like lived on my friend's floor for a lot of that semester.
Yeah.
Because I also felt very unsafe. So I think that's another thing. Like, even if you don't have best friends, tell someone about your situation because then, like, at least hopefully nothing happens. But if something does, they can be like, well, she kind of told me she was having a rough time.
Right.
And this is like X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And then my CAs did nothing. So, I mean, I wish I had escalated it more because I could have talked to the head of Manzanita or anyone else really, like probably any other floor CA could have helped more.
Right.
Because like we had a meeting with the CAs, like a mediation or whatever.
Right.
And they pointed the finger at me saying that I was the problem and I was doing this stuff and I was lying and all that. And
your roommates or the
roommates?
Okay.
Yeah, and the CAs were kind of just like, well, we don't really want to make this like so dramatic, and they kind of just left it at that. When I was like, I literally sent you video proof before I left for break that there was nothing on my side of the room, and then when you checked it, there was a bunch of alcohol on my side.
Yeah.
So they're obviously trying to do something.
That's really tough.
But yeah, my advice would be escalate it. My like saving grace in this whole situation was Bridget, who's the head of Panhellenic here. She, like, I kind of told my sorority what was happening, and they were like, oh my gosh, let's get you out of there, like, right now.
Yeah.
And within 48 hours of me emailing Bridget, she had it handled. I was moving out. I had a date for move out. So yeah, just advocate for yourself more than I did. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have to feel unsafe where you're living.
No, absolutely not. And I'm really happy that Bridget was able to step in and get you out of there. And so that, naturally brings us to the GLV, which is where you moved into. So can you explain for people that don't know what the GLV, what it is?
Yeah. So the GLV, everyone calls it that, but it's the Greek Leadership Village. That's where a majority of FSL, so fraternity and Panhellenic sororities live on campus. It's ASU-based housing, and it's kind of like apartments. Yeah. So it's sororities and fraternities living like harmoniously, if you can call it that. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, but yeah, like it's a really fun environment.
Like beef? Like between the...
There can be.
Okay.
But it's like you kind of got to figure it out or figure out how to live with it because, I mean, you can literally see each other from your balconies. Like, you don't want it to escalate.
You guys are pretty close, right? It's almost like a gated community, it kind of feels like.
It's a gated community. So in order to have access to the GLV at all, you need to be in Greek life. And so your student ID card, they activate it so you can get into the gate. And then past that, you have to live in the house to have access to the house.
Okay.
So even if it's like your chapter, you can't swipe your card and get in because you need to live there for safety.
Oh, okay. So if like a friend of yours like in the sorority like wanted to come visit you at the GLV, like you would have to let them in.
Yeah, I'd have to go
Safely.
down and get her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little gated community, a bunch of little, would you call them like houses or townhomes or apartments? Like how would you describe them?
I mean, we call them houses just because I think that's what everyone in Greek life calls their house, but it's honestly more like an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like there's 4 floors.
Uh-huh.
In majority of them, there's 4 floors. I think there's like 3 or 4 different models of houses in the GLV. So in my chapter, it's the biggest model.
The biggest one, right? And you guys can have about 30 people?
I think it's 38.
38.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people in one spot.
A lot of girls.
Are all of them the same size or they're like smaller, bigger ones?
Yeah, so 38 is the biggest. That's the most amount of people you can have. And then I think the smallest is something around like 20, 25 people can
Yeah.
live there.
Yeah.
It really just depends on vacancy and where you're at and like how many people you have in your chapter. Because it's like if someone doesn't have enough people, so, like they'll move out of the GLV and then they'll just kind of like have an auction of sorts and be like,
Right.
all right, who has the next biggest chapter and wants to move in here and can pay for it.
Yeah. So tell me about your experience at the GLV because you said when we talked before this that you had a pretty big core memory pretty early on.
Yeah, so I moved in right at the beginning of second semester freshman year here, which it's not really allowed anymore for freshmen to live in the GLV.
But you had a
Yeah.
like a circumstance.
Yeah, I had a special circumstance and they allowed it. So I don't know how that works anymore, but I was very lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as I moved in, I met my roommate who her name's Aurora and she is the sweetest human in the world. I definitely won the lottery there.
Yes.
She kind of like restored my faith in humanity a bit after my first experience. So it was probably like not even a month into me living at the GLV. And we were all downstairs watching Pitch Perfect, which was like a weekly occurrence, I swear. And this one girl in our chapter, she knew the whole rap part of Pitch Perfect, and none of us knew that. It was total shock. So as soon as it started happening, like she was like sitting in her chair, like going crazy. And all of us were like, oh my God. Oh my God. So we turned the lights off, brought our phone flashlights out, and we're like dancing around and like hyping her up.
I love that.
And I feel like that's kind of when I was like, okay, like I'm really happy I made this decision. I'm really happy I got out of my other situation and like I'm making friends and I feel comfortable and like these are my people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about, freshmen not being allowed to live in GLV, and that just made me think about, is it required to live in the dorm as a freshman?
It is not. So it's like a lot of people here are local, so like they live with their parents, and I respect that so much. I'm like, I wish I could have saved that money.
Yeah.
But it's not required, but they do encourage it a lot,
Okay.
especially for people that aren't from near here, because I do think it helps you like acclimate and kind of make friends and
Absolutely.
get like kind of just get involved. I think it's a good idea if you're especially from out of state.
Yeah. And what was it like being an out-of-state student coming in and you had one friend from home? So obviously Rush was a big part of you finding friends at ASU,
Yeah.
but what were some other ways that you met friends your freshman year?
The first week I was there, I kind of like, you just run into people and it's like kindergarten. Everyone's like, I want to find friends and you look nice and let's be friends.
Yeah.
So you kind of just random, like you hang out with people and see like, do y'all click and anything like that. So it was more random than anything else.
Yeah.
Like you'd run into people in the halls or you're eating at the dining hall and you see someone and it was very random. It was fun though. Like it was fun feeling like your little kids again.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for somebody who might be out of state and is maybe a little nervous about coming in and making new friends?
Yeah, I mean, I personally classify myself as an introvert. I can be extroverted if I try,
Yeah.
but coming to college, it was kind of like I had to come in here with the mindset of, you know what? I need to do what I need to do to like make sure that I give it my best shot to see if I actually like it here and want to stay. So I'm like, I need to get involved. I need to just talk to people on the street. I need to talk to people in my classes. And you just kind of need to put yourself out there. And I know it can be really hard and scary, but I think it's like you just got to try.
And it was worth it.
Definitely.
In the end.
Yeah.
And you said you had a friend that lived at one specific dorm, the name is escaping me, but you loved the vibe and culture there.
San Pablo.
San Pablo. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about San Pablo.
So San Pablo, it's for education in speech and hearing majors only. And my sorority twin at the time, she later dropped, but my twin at the time, she lived there because she was an education major. And it was just, I don't know how to really explain the vibe, but it's like everyone there loved it. Everyone there knew each other and was so nice and friendly. And like the CAs all like knew who everyone was, even like me. They recognized me after me being there a few times.
Yeah.
And the culture was just really fun. Like, I don't know how to really explain it. It looks like a prison from the outside. But once you're like inside,
It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone, and it's just a really fun environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the majors that was for?
Yeah, it was for education and speech and hearing.
Okay, cool. So if anybody is coming to ASU
Yeah.
with those majors, highly recommend San Pablo.
Yeah. I know it looks bad. I know it looks really bad from the outside, y'all, but it's so much fun. Everyone that's ever lived there has loved it.
So going back to the GLV, so you lived in a house with 38 other girls.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. How was that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's overwhelming to think about. Like, that's a lot of people. And all these girls are like in the same chapter as me, and we're all supposed to be best friends, kind of thing.
And you were coming in as a freshman too.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone that lived in the house, they're all in the same PC, and they all knew each other, and they've all lived together already for a semester, you know? So it's kind of like, I feel like I was like an interloper in a way. I'm like, oh no, like I'm younger, they're not going to like me, or I'm going to cause problems. But they immediately took me in. And I'm still friends with all those girls for the most part, and they're all graduating, and it's so sad.
Aww.
But it was honestly a lot of fun. But I mean, the bathroom situation can get a little tense. The laundry situation can get a little tense.
Yeah.
But I mean, you figure it out. Like, I'd always do laundry super late at night because most people weren't doing.
How many like washer dryers did you have?
There's 3 washer dryers for the whole house.
Okay. Wow.
Which is not a lot.
And how many girls did you share a bathroom with?
On my floor, so I lived on the 4th floor, and there are, I think it's 16, like 14 or 16 girls who live on that floor. So there's
one bathroom?
Yeah, so the bathroom is like, it's like a big room, and on the left there's 3 shower stalls, and on the right there's 3 like toilet stalls, and then there's 3 sinks.
Wow. How like what was that like?
I don't miss
just
the
have to
shower
like
shoot.
schedule it, like, or when you were going to get ready, you were like, hey, like have to announce like,
No,
I'm gonna go take a shower now, or like how did that work?
you kind of just like figure out the times
Okay.
that like work for you. And it's like worst comes to worst, I mean, you wait like 20 minutes.
Okay.
You know, like for someone to finish showering.
And then it's double occupancy, right?
Mhm.
So you share like a space with just one other girl?
Yeah, just one other.
Okay. And then there is a way that you can have your own room.
Yes.
What is that?
So you can get a sales accommodation through ASU, sales like boat sales. So it's pretty much, it's like for mental and like physical well-being of their students. So if you have like a mental health reason why you genuinely cannot live with another person in your space, and you get like a doctor to write a note or whatever, then you can send that to whomever is supposed to get it, and then you can live by yourself. And it's just for the well-being of their students, really.
Yeah, for sure. Do a lot of people do that in the GLV though, or?
Definitely they used to. Now the GLV, like, they changed their policy on it, which I honestly think is a little unethical. Sorry.
You speak your truth.
Yeah. I think it's a little unethical because, I mean, some people, like, they genuinely, like, because they have, like, they're, like, neurodivergent or whatever it is.
Right.
They can't live with someone else and also be able to complete their homework
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
And now the GLV is saying, well, if someone moves in that has an accommodation, you have to pay for the bed that's not full. So they're making chapters pay for it.
The chapter, okay,
Yeah.
not the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a little unethical because
Yeah.
like, they actually have a need and you're granting that need, but still
Right.
making us pay for it. That's
Yeah.
a little
That's
gray for
yeah,
me.
that is tough.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about meal plans and what the food was like in the dorms, and then also at in the GLV. What was that like?
Yeah. So every freshman is required to have a meal plan if they live on campus,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a good idea because I think you're so stressed out and you're trying to do so many things. Like, you need to eat.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to go get something from off campus or whatever it is. So I think there's 3 meal plans for freshmen. And I got like the lowest one because I knew I wasn't going to eat in the dining halls too often.
Yeah.
But so you get like,
Was the food bad?
yeah, it wasn't great. The chicken scares me to this day, and so does the pizza.
Yeah.
I remember this one week when everyone had the pizza, like everyone got sick.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, how does pizza do that to you?
But you didn't
Like,
eat the pizza.
I did not.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that doesn't look right.
It spooked you from the start.
Yeah. I'm like, it's burnt on some sides and then the bread's not cooked on the other
Yeah,
side. That
that's
makes no
rough.
sense.
Were there any like dining halls that were better? Would you recommend some?
Yeah. So if you're not part of Barrett Honors, you have to pay to like eat at Barrett, even though you have like your meal swipes or whatever.
It's like $3, right?
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
a lot. So I'm like, treat yourself sometimes, but maybe don't do that every day. But I think Tooker was my favorite dining hall. I know a lot of people liked Manzanita. Maybe it's because it was right next to me. I didn't like that as much.
I heard there's a pasta bar.
Yeah, the pasta bar wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But I liked Tooker the best because I think it had the most options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'd go to the MU a lot as well, and you can use your M&G dollars there.
What was the parking situation like at the GLV?
Yeah, so at the GLV, there's like the main parking garage that everyone gets a pass in. So it's called Rural Garage. It's right on Rural Road.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. So that's where everyone parked. But if you get a resident pass, because there's a different one, so you can get one for commuter. So commuters can park on any floor, like 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're resident, you can only park on 3 or 4.
Okay.
So, and there's no elevator, which is really fun.
Period.
Cool. So anytime I wanted to get to my car, I just always parked on the 4th floor because that parking garage is a war zone. Yeah. People are going like 30 in the parking garage, and then there's people like skateboard down the ramp, and it's a war zone in there. Yeah, so I would just play it safe and park on the top floor, and then have to truck up and down 4 floors.
That sounds rough. Like when you went grocery shopping and you would have to take all of that down 4 floors.
That was not fun. If I had like too many groceries for that, my roommate had like a wagon and I would borrow that.
I have a wagon. I love my wagon.
Yeah. So I'd like pull into the drop-off zone behind the GLV, and I'd have like a friend come out and like take my wagon inside when I went and parked. Because I'm like, guys, there's no way I can walk all this.
No, absolutely not. That's rough. And so would you just park there for class and just like walk to class? Is that
okay? So my car lived there. I would just take it, bring it right back. Yeah. Because otherwise you have to pay anywhere else that you park unless you have a pass for it. So yeah, I would just keep my car in rural and walk to class, even though most of my class, it's like there's sometimes you walk like 5 miles a day.
Wow.
Because your classes can be on one corner and then the other. And
yeah, what is like the spread, I guess? Are classes kind of like grouped on specific like parts of campus depending on your major, or could they be anywhere?
They can be anywhere. It's kind of on the professor, because a lot of them are like, oh, well, I'm teaching like 4 different classes and I want to be in the same area so I don't have to walk.
Oh, interesting.
So it would really just depend on that most of the time. So you never got an option. And even if you're like, okay, I picked all my classes out for next semester, they're all like in this one area, it can change.
Okay.
Because professors can be like, oh, yeah, this doesn't work for me anymore, and it'll change to a new building.
Huh. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it being like by the professor, and more so by like the school or like the college. So
yeah. I mean, I think majority of it is like by school base. Yeah. But if you have one that's in a weird, like, this is a life sciences building and this is psychology class, like that's a little odd. It's because of the professor. Yeah.
I've heard somebody say that you need a car at ASU. Do you agree with that?
I don't think you need one. Maybe if you live downtown or like at a different campus, but if you live in Tempe, I think it's really nice to have one.
Right.
Like if you want to go to Target or you want to go to Tempe Marketplace or anything like that, I definitely think it's nice. But there's Ubers any second of the day, and they're really not that expensive unless it's, you know, a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think like a majority of your friends will probably have cars, and you can just, you know, beg a little bit, please, I need to go get groceries. But I don't think you need one. I just think it's really nice to have one.
Is there, if you live at the GLV, are there places that are walkable that you could get groceries? Or if you live on campus, like, can you walk to get groceries?
100%.
Okay.
We have little, like, they're called pods. So we have the pod market on campus. There's a few of them. And so you can get your groceries there. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
But you can.
You can.
But then there's also Trader Joe's. It's like really close to the GLV. It's right on University and Rural. It's right next to the Canes. If anyone ever comes and visits, you'll see the Canes.
That's like a spot on campus.
Yeah, everyone knows the Canes.
Everyone knows the Canes.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't feel like you need to have a car at ASU?
No. I mean, if it's in your realm of possibility to get your car here, go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice to have one. But it's like if you're from Maine or New Jersey, anything like that, don't stress it. You'll be fine.
Right. And do you feel comfortable walking around on campus?
I mean, I'm a girl,
Yeah.
so I think we're always just a bit cautious.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really technically feel comfortable anywhere, I guess.
That's very
I'm always
fair.
very aware, but I don't think it's like much different than what I'm used to in a way. I
Okay.
think like the difference in walking in Tempe than walking in downtown Phoenix, because that's where I go to school,
Mm-hmm.
Tempe feels a lot better.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I just like, do what you need to do to feel safe, but I don't think it's particularly dangerous. No.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to talk about where you moved after the GLV, because you moved into a house
I did.
out in Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your decision to move into a house.
It was mostly like I kind of wanted to get out of ASU campus life.
Mm-hmm.
Not like how fun it is or anything like that. I kind of just wanted to stop living on ASU property in a way. And my friends all felt the same way. I didn't want to walk and have to go up 4 flights of stairs to get to my car or
Yep.
get to my room. I want to be able to walk right outside and get to my car.
Yeah.
So I think that played a main part of it.
Okay.
It's also like it is cheaper to live in a house around here. Some of them are more expensive, but that's like they know they can hike the prices because it's super close to campus.
Right.
Like my house is not super close, so it's not bad at all.
How much are you paying right now for your house?
Right now, with rent and utilities and pool service and everything for my house, I pay just under $900.
Oh, you guys have a pool?
Mhm.
That's nice.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you live all the way on Mesa. So how far away is Mesa from
The
Tempe?
time to get like from my house to the Tempe campus without traffic or anything like that, it's usually like 14 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, and then like with traffic, it goes up to like 20, 25.
But are most of your classes right now in the downtown
All of them.
campus? Okay, so what is that? Like, how far away is that?
That commute for me, in the morning, it's usually not bad. It's like 22, 25 minutes
Okay.
usually, unless there's a wreck or something, which
Yeah.
happens all the time. And then I have to leave like right when rush hour hits.
Mm.
So that takes me usually 40 minutes to get home.
Okay. Where do you park on the downtown campus?
So I didn't get a parking pass for downtown because I did the math and I'm like, you know what? It's actually cheaper for me to just pay every day.
Okay.
And I also like couldn't get the ones that I wanted that made sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I park kind of wherever I can.
Yeah.
So I park a lot of times. I park in the underground parking of the Sheridan Hotel,
Okay.
which is like it's on 3rd and Taylor. It's right there on downtown campus. A lot of students I know do that. It's like a little secret though.
Yeah.
Because it's not full and I'm there for like 10 hours or something.
Right.
And I'm only paying like $15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
So I guess you did the math and a parking pass would have been more than $15 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, I'd save like $150 or something. And I'm like, that's worth it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I wanted to ask, you chose a house over an apartment. Why did you make that decision?
Honestly, cost,
Mhm.
because in Tempe, it's really expensive. All of them, like your share of the rent is usually $1,300 or more.
Okay.
So that was a big part of it. And then I also kind of just didn't want to deal with the parking situation in an apartment for a little bit because I was kind of I'm tired of all of that. It's really annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
And then my friends and I all we were like, no, we want to live in a house. Like we want to have our own stuff and
Yeah.
not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Do you have any friends that currently live in apartments right now?
Yeah, honestly, most of them. If they
Okay.
don't live in the GLV, they live in an apartment pretty much.
Do they like it, or do you know?
They do, yeah. I think the amenities are nice to have for sure. But a lot of them are like, it's just so expensive. Like that's the number one thing I hear all the time. They're like, it's so much money and it's not that nice because I
Right.
mean, they've been here for so long.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, if they revamped it all, I think it'd be
Yeah.
a different story. People wouldn't complain about the price because they're like, well, I'm getting X, Y, and Z.
Or like a new build,
Yeah,
maybe. So you were originally supposed to live in a house in Tempe, right?
I was.
Okay, tell me about that story. What happened there?
Yeah, so my friends and I, we picked out a house, we toured it, everything was all set. We were going to sign the lease soon, and then they found roaches.
Okay.
And obviously, that That's like my number one fear. I'm not kidding. I'm like, I'd rather deal with like a snake or a scorpion. And usually with a roach problem, it does not go away unless they fully take care of it.
Right.
And they told us, they're like, well, we can partially, take care of it and you guys can move in. And I was like, no.
Partially?
That's not happening. So they gave us like a cut on a bunch of like entry fees and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, okay, well, we have all these houses. Y'all pick one. We'll make it work for you. Because we went through like a company.
Yeah.
And this one was like in our price range and it wasn't too far away. And it still had a pool and everything. So that's why we had to live in Mesa instead of Tempe.
Do you like living out there?
Honestly,
how do you feel about your house right now?
I like it. It's a little bit older for sure. But having a pool is so nice, being able to like do whatever you want kind of. And we live right next to a high school. So it's a pretty safe area. And it's kind of like, I like how it's kind of detached.
Right.
Like I kind of feel more like an adult, I guess, than I do like living on campus.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about pass down houses, because there are houses in Tempe that you can kind of get from your sorority, right?
Yeah, it's more frequent in fraternities where they like pass down, like we call them satellite houses, where they throw the parties.
Okay.
They kind of just like, you know what, everyone that lives here is graduating and we're just gonna pass the lease on to these guys. And so they kind of keep it going. I know a handful of sororities have something like that, but it's not as common.
Yeah.
Mine had just one house that they kind of like passed down in a way. It went from like big to little and the little's friends. So I think it's really nice and it's kind of easy because like the person that's renting it to you already knows what to expect in a way. I think that's a really nice thing too.
Yeah. And you stayed at your house for another year, or are you currently moving to Tempe?
Yeah. So this July I'll be moving into Moon Tower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for just 6 months, because I'm graduating. So.
Yeah. Are you excited to move to downtown Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm really excited to live by myself.
Yeah.
I kind of want to experience that, and I've always wanted to live in a city to see if I like it. So I'm excited to do that. I'm gonna get a cat. So yeah, it's gonna be super sweet.
So I want to rewind a little bit and kind of do a little overview of everywhere that you've lived and give me one pro and like one con of each. So Manzanita, GLV, a Mesa house.
Yeah, so one pro for Manzanita, I think, is you get involved in campus life and you're so close to everything that it kind of forces you to get out there. Each dorm has events that they do like once or twice a month where it's like, come on, like we're watching a movie on the lawn or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really nice option. And one con I'd say is, I mean, for me, it's like more personal of a con. Just kind of make sure that you know who you're living with, and if you're not happy with it, you have options. Don't think you're stuck in that situation. You can escalate it until you kind of get out of it and feel better. And then the GLV, I'd say one pro is, I mean, you get to connect with so many people in your chapter. I think that's really fun. You get to maybe talk to people that you wouldn't originally have because they're like not in your Greek family or like no one really knows them or whatever it is. I think it's super fun and you make a lot of fun memories. One con, it's really loud.
Yeah.
The frats are playing music from their balcony 24/7.
Yeah.
So I mean, invest in some headphones maybe.
A sound machine to go to sleep.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely manageable. I don't think it's that big a deal. And if it gets really bad, you can call one of the GLV people and they come and be like, hey, guys, be quiet.
But it seems like the vibe was fun.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I highly endorse living there.
Would you say like maybe for like when you're more like lower classmen instead of
I'd say sophomore year, live in the GLV.
Yeah.
I think a year is a perfect amount of time to live there. You get closer with everyone that's in your PC and all that kind of stuff. So it's always really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your house, a pro and con.
I think a pro is having your own space. It's not campus owned, and
it's the first time you've had your own room, right?
Yeah, first time I've lived in my own room. I still share a bathroom, but it's only with one person.
Yeah. Manageable.
Definitely manageable. Yeah, I think the pro is just kind of like having your own space.
Yeah.
It's really nice. A con for us at least is the location. It's a bit far. I'm having to commute to school pretty hard. But But I mean, that's something you take into consideration. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get the rug pulled out from under you like we did, and you get roaches in your house. So
Yeah.
you never know.
For sure. What is something you think that students need to think about a little bit more when deciding where they want to live?
Honestly, think about like what you need. I know it can be hard to know that coming into college because you're coming from your parents' house or wherever you're at. It can be kind of hard to figure out what's best for you. But I think really like become introspective a little bit when you're making that option and like that decision because that can define a lot of what happens and like
Right.
how you handle things for a while.
Right.
Because if you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable or whatever it is, that can make it really hard to acclimate and do your schoolwork and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So I think you should definitely just become a little introspective, see if you think that would actually work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is one piece of advice that you would give an incoming ASU student?
Yeah, honestly, get out there. Just go meet people. I mean, when I went through recruitment, I didn't think I was going to join a sorority, but I'm still best friends with one of the girls that was in my RoGam group. And she went a different sorority and she later transferred and she's still one of my best friends. So it's like just do what you can to meet people. And you know what? A lot of friend groups don't last in college. Don't feel heartbroken if that happens.
Yeah.
Just meet your people and stick by them and just be yourself, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then earlier in the interview, you mentioned making sure that you advocate for yourself. So do you have any like last words on that?
Yeah, definitely just be your own champion in a way. I think I wish I had done more for myself that first semester, but a lot of change at the same time. I didn't really know what to do. So if you're listening, please just advocate for yourself and make sure that you feel comfortable. And there's a lot of options to you. Don't feel stuck in one place.
Yeah, that's really great advice. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your stories with us.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
And we will see you guys next time.